Boom. We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. This bull market is so much fun. One of the best times to be in the market is in a bull market. Now, one of the best times to be in a bull market is actually, or the best time to be in a market is to be in a bear or a bull market, because the bear market gives you the opportunity to take advantage of all those cheap accumulation cycles, and the bear market is where you get to reap the rewards of being a good bear. So keep that in mind. The bears make the most during the bull market because they're the ones that stuck around and accumulated at all those nice little bottom berry feeders that were around. Stu, thank you guys for joining us today. A wonderful time here. Bitcoin now over $52,000, absolutely explosive. And one of the fun things here is we always get to see how Bitcoin almost pushes everything to the side. It's like a boat moving through the water. The weight kind of stops behind everything, and you see almost a stagnation. We saw that kind of start off with the altcoin sector, where you were seeing a lot of other tokens lose value, like very quickly. GRT, Avalanche, everything dropped right back down to the bottom of a trading range. Bitcoin goes up, usually get another balance point, and you see a nice fluctuation between the venture capital sector and Bitcoin. And what's different about this time is that some of the world's biggest players are starting to show up here, and they didn't see Bitcoin at first, and they probably didn't see Ethereum first either. So keep that in mind. Even though retail seems to be driving Ethereum's price, retail drove Bitcoin's price. So maybe we start to think that retail is actually better at this game than the big players. The big players just show up with a lot more money. Yep, a lot more money, but that's okay. You don't need a lot of money to move the markets, especially when they're low cap gems. But what we're going to focus on today is we're going to start with Bitcoin, and then we're going to go over Ethereum here as well. So there's our trading view chart. Bitcoin on the 6 hour. And for the first time, we don't really do this too often because I like to, we're actually going to drop these momentum indicators in here for a minute because we're just about to hit, we're in a really bullish moment right now. So on the 6 hour, we've actually started to stay above the moving averages here. As you can see, the blue line of our Bollinger Band, we started to close above it like this. The last time we did that was back here at around $23,000. And every time that we stayed above that on the 6 hour, we got a lot of momentum here on outwards. We stayed above it almost the entire time from $23,000 onwards. So now that we're above this, I believe we are about to get into one of the very, very exciting parts of a bull market where it starts to melt people's faces. And Bitcoin will be a leader of that. Now, I do want to point something out specifically that I think is really important to remember. And then it's, if I remove my momentum indicators and we get rid of all the hype and we try to remain calm and patient, we go, well, let's take a retrospective analysis and really get our hands dirty here. We're going to measure from the spring right now. March 14th is the day I'm grabbing to the top. We're currently at, oh, damn you computer for making so much noise. And yeah, I know I'm not logged in. Thank you. Okay, here we go. From the bottom of the bull market to the top now, Bitcoin has produced around a 10x position. That's fantastic. That means if you put $1,000 in Bitcoin around March 15th, we'll say now, you'd be sitting on 10 grand. That's an amazing return. 10x is amazing. Now let's look at Ethereum. Another great conjecture here. And again, what we want to do is, when we're being calm and patient, is know that yes, Bitcoin moves and she moves everything. Let's take a look at what would happen if we entered with $1,000 at Ethereum and approximately, well, let's go March 17th, pretty much the same day. Well, holy lapdog, shit bang, you're up 1,400%. So technically, Ethereum has performed 400% better this year than Bitcoin. Now, we could maybe make an assertion that Ethereum is 400% more volatile and maybe 400% more risky then as well. And this is actually a good conjecture to make. Ethereum is still in its early venture capital days. Avalanche could replace it. Cardano could potentially replace it. Ethereum hasn't caught up with what it's been able to do, but people see the potential of a smart contract layer. And no sense in adding it to Bitcoin, our already functioning tractor monetary layer. Like, let's just leave it doing what it's doing. But in terms of building stuff outside, a lot of it's been built on Ethereum so far. Avalanche is a great opportunity because you can take all that code and write it on top of the Ethereum virtual machine on top of Avalanche. Now, there's a little bit of a bug there, but luckily what we get to see is these nice tests produce a bottom based off the fear that comes into the market. So Ethereum is actually right in the finality of its backup phase too. And we've been watching this for quite some time. And don't negate the fact that when Bitcoin was at $23,000 and it ran up to 40, Ethereum went from 500 and ran up to $1,300. That's an 86% growth for Ethereum and approximately 77% growth for Bitcoin, right? So we want to keep that in mind. If you're trying to acquire alpha, this is a great way to do it. Spread your bets out. But Bitcoin is still our market monetary leader. I've said that every episode. This is my collateral layer. I believe that this is where we should move profits into if you want to take profits. Because in the long term, if you had bought Bitcoin at $20,000, you'd have been like, I don't know. I bought it at the high and Bitcoin dropped down to $3,000. But look, Bitcoin at 20 grand was like an amazing time to be buying Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin in 2013 at the all-time high of $1,000. Oh my God, I felt stupid because it went down to 200. But buying Bitcoin at $1,000 then was also a great idea. So when you guys are going through these moments, you really want to ask yourself, what does my long-term outlook feel like? God, the volume's low. How does it always get reset? Jesus, it always gets reset. I don't know what it is. Okay, well, I fixed it. Yeah, I don't know. It always gets reset somehow. Damn you, computer. Always screwing up my vibe, my flow. How do you not remember these things? So anyways, now that we're louder here, again, remembering that Bitcoin at $1,000 was a great buy then, and at $20,000 was a great buy then. So you can be pretty patient with your accumulation cycle. But when we're comparing Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ethereum has a lot of risk on the table. It's still a venture capital play, but it's produced very, very massive results. And again, we'll just kind of go over this quickly. You've got Bitcoin producing a 10x since March, and Ethereum producing approximately a 14x. Oh, okay, that's great. It's 400% higher. What about Cardano? Oh, great. Let's see. Cardano since March here. Where's March? Boom. So Cardano from March, just as a comparative example, put $1,000 in there in a VenCap play. Wow, 3,200%. That means Cardano has outperformed Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's actually outperformed Bitcoin by almost 3 times. Or sorry, 2.5 times pretty much. Congratulations. Good work. Yes. This is the important thing we want to understand. Venture capital itself is about asymmetry. That means that if I put $1,000 in each one of these, Cardano actually produced the best result. And I was only ever limiting $1,000. Now, if you're a bigger investor, Bitcoin's a great choice. There's billions and billions of dollars moving in there frequently, and that makes it more stable, and that's what we want. But I'm a venture capitalist. I want to find out where can I put $1,000 and make $32,000 from in a month, 6 months, 9 months later. Well, congratulations, Cardano players. That was a great choice. $1,000 in Cardano in March would have yielded 2.5 times higher results than Bitcoin. Ethereum would have yielded 0.4 times, or approximately 4x higher results, currently sitting around 1,400% higher than Bitcoin's 10x. But don't negate the fact that Bitcoin just did a 10x, which in itself is huge and now is less risky. So you have the volatility with less risk. That's important. That's why we use it as our monetary layer. Yes, it's volatile, but it's less risky. That's an important factor to make. Whereas Cardano, Ethereum, they're risky and volatile. They could both be replaced by Avalanche potentially. So what am I trying to get at? When you're building your portfolio, you really want to segment out your long-term plays and your venture capital. Focusing on understanding that there's asymmetry in motion in a venture capital play is probably one of the sexiest things that you can possibly understand. Because it means how many times every year could you invest $500 to $1,000 in something new that you thought was interesting, been patient, come back and found you were up hundreds of percent higher. Doge fucking coin. Fucking Dogecoin. If you put $1,000 in Dogecoin in 2015, it would be worth $500,000 today. That could buy you 10 Bitcoin right now. Don't negate that. Don't negate what a small amount of money can do in a venture capital play when you wait 5 or 10 years for your investment to unfold. And how the hell do we all know? We would have never known that Doge would do well. That didn't make any sense. The only stupid people are investing in Doge. Yeah, well, some stupid person put $1,000 in and made a fucking $500,000 and now could own 10 Bitcoin because of their $1,000 in Doge. Do not overlook the power of venture capital in small investment sizes because asymmetry can be your best friend. But start with the fact how much you're going to lose. We could definitely lost $1,000 putting in a Dogecoin. I'd be like, silly motherfucker putting $1,000 in Dogecoin in 2015. It's just a meme coin. Well, I don't care what the fuck it is. It produced huge results. And that's the fun about venture capital as well. You're signaling to the market that you don't know. I don't know what the future will hold. So instead of just putting all my eggs in one basket and being like, oh, I'm a maximalist, or only can use fucking Bitcoin, or only use Ethereum, the DeFi sector, you look like a moron. Leave the cult behind and focus on being a good investor. And venture capital, based off asymmetry and being able to risk what you are also willing to lose in that play, can yield massive results. I think it is extremely important to make a distinction between these things, and for the average, especially the new investor, to understand that you could put $500 in $500 in an account every now and then and done really well over the last 5 years. Meme coin could have made you rich. And you cannot overlook that fact, because the market is smarter than we are. It's been around longer than we have. So, again, I think it's really important to go through these things. Yeah, Leonite says, thank God you're saying fuck again. Yeah, I'm passionate about this idea. I really get upset by the maximalists in this sector, especially for the venture capital plays, which means that, look, I don't actually know. Look, isn't that brave of me to say I don't know instead of be like, no, look, I know exactly what I'm talking about because the Bitcoin is a thing. Yeah, we got that one right. I got lucky getting that one right. I get lucky with all the things I get right. Yay. I walk into the office and go, oh, I'm a genius today. No, I walk in and say, am I going to get lucky? Is the universe going to treat me to something exciting? No, I make bets in a venture capital sector for this exact reason, because I'm willing to signal to the market that, look, I actually do not know who the winner is going to be here. And you can be rewarded massively by doing that. $1,000 in Cardano, $32,000 today. $1,000 in Ethereum at March is worth $14,000 today. $1,000 in Bitcoin at March is worth around 10 grand today. Do not underestimate what venture capital can do. Okay, so I guess for more of a deep dive here, just for fun, we've been watching Ethereum for quite some time. For those of you that are new to the channel, you will recognize that we have been constantly following this very clean falling supply factor, rising price, and diminishing volatility throughout these ranges. Ethereum is right on the verge of breaking out, although I do suspect we get a touch of the bottom in the trading range here at 1560. We might not. Again, recognize that when Bitcoin went from 23,000 to 50,000, Ethereum also went from approximately 600 to 1,300. Okay, so from December 23rd, okay, let's just measure this again. So if you bought Ethereum on December 23rd and you held it till today, you're up 220%. Okay, well, what about if we bought Bitcoin on December 23rd on Christmas? Okay, on December 23rd, there we go, December 23rd, 129%. Great, congratulations. Your Ethereum bet has already paid off 100% more than Bitcoin had you bought it on Christmas Day. I don't understand what all this hype about Bitcoin just smashing through new all-time highs faster than Ethereum. Yeah, but who fucking cares? Ethereum is producing higher results on my venture capital play. Is it riskier? Yes. Is it performing better in terms of alpha? Fuck yes. Simple as that. Don't get caught up in all the maximalists of any sector. Just recognize that venture capital in Doge could have made you $500,000, and then everyone else would around you be like, wow, I guess I was stupid for not having made $500,000 from Dogecoin. Okay, so that's the first part of today's episode. Again, I'm really, really excited. As you can probably tell by my demeanor today, you have this constant falling supply of Ethereum that we've gone over multiple times in a rising price. We also know that from day over day, from December 23rd, boom, let's go Christmas, you're up 240% for Ethereum, and you're up only only 128% for Bitcoin. So I don't know. I don't think it's any simpler than that. I don't think I should need to explain that more deeply, but for some reason the maximalists seem to think, yeah, Bitcoin's blowing through all-time highs. Yeah, but Ethereum's performing better percentage-wise. I don't know. Just depends on how much you're willing to risk. This is venture capital. Be willing to be okay that you might find out that you were fucking wrong. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's the point of all that. Okay, next thing. Thank you guys all for joining us. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that little bell button. That way every time we go live, and yes, we will be going live once a damn day, every day for the rest of this year. It's a little personal goal of mine. And I also want to remind you guys, the sickness and the disease of the new investor is lack of education and over-emotional trading. And the best way to create a cure for that environment is through a healthy, productive place to learn. So if you find yourself adventurous and like to try new things, join the Arcane Bear group, arcanebear.com/private, where you'll join over 700 members working together constantly to provide the best place to learn. We are also always learning ourselves. So like I said, I don't actually know all the time, and I will spread my bets out accordingly. And that's smart to think. If anyone tells you that they know what the future holds and they predicted something, they're lying. They're trying to sell you something. Although I guess I'm trying to sell you something too. Sign up for our private group. We're going to raise the price. We're probably going to double it almost. So this is your last chance. You maybe have like 48 hours to get in there before we absolutely double the price. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. Let's look at your guys' comments and questions and thoughts. We've just had such amazing results from the people that are in the group and the feedback that we got, and they all told us that we should raise the price to keep out the people that are squawky birds. Somehow it's like the people that manage the least amount of money are the noisiest. It's almost like a client. The client that pays you $50,000 for a product, they're like, cool, I'll see you when you're done. But the client that pays you $500, like, oh my God, this is like a life-changing deal for me. I'm just going to talk all the time. Like, kind of private message you, I'm going to DM you all the time. It's like, how's my $500 doing? Oh my God, it's like my $500. It's like, we don't want that. Don't need that. There's a lot of money to go around here, so we're going to focus on the niche that happens to be the most centered for all of us. Anyways, yes, round of applause for the bull market, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, all of you who were here through 2018, 2019, and 2020. You have now get to enjoy the fruits of your labor as a bear, foraging and filling your bear forage for those years. It's fantastic. I'm just going to get rid of some of the people in the chat too. Where's my mods? We need to... Nice. India plans... Okay, so Devarya Krishna says India plans to ban crypto and create a centralized one. You know, for those of you that are in India, there's a really great Twitter feed that I like, and maybe we'll quickly roll over to that Twitter feed. His name is like Basalias. And by the way, you guys should definitely care about India. There's a lot of people there. Basalias? I only follow 10 people. I think he's in there. He's not. He's not in the 10 people I follow. Okay, well, I'm going to unfollow Hayden Adams then. He didn't even respond. Miko will still follow. I like him. He's a good venture capitalist. We can try to get him on the show. But I only followed 9 people now. We just unfollowed Hayden Adams. But BSJ, I think, Basalias. Oh, man, I don't even know. Sorry, guys. I just want to go over this because I think it's actually a fun sentiment. Naval always tweets, yeah, Balajas, this one. It says, in 1999, India turbocharged its economy by opening up to foreign exchanges. Now it faces a similar choice. Back to the license Raj with the crypto ban or legalize the crypto boom. I really like Balajas. I don't know how to follow him. I'll retweet this. So if you guys want, go follow me on Twitter at Arcane Bear, and then follow Balajas for the Indian updates. Big deal, I think. Okay, India is a pretty big deal. Personal opinion, though. Jeff Snyder says, a $50 super chat says, when you're swearing, I know you're more fired up than normal. I love it. Everyone should join the private group. It's substance versus YouTube hype. I really appreciate that. I love when I see how many times have people paid in super chats to tell you guys how good the group is. And again, so definitely if you want to join, finish up your, get in there soon because we're going to double the price. We just had such great feedback from everyone and it just makes sense to double the price. Oh, by the way, all of you that are already signed up and listening to this later, I'm not raising the price on you, just anyone who joins after you. If you make it in, you get grandfathered into the price that you're paying. So don't worry. I'm not raising the price on the people that have already joined. I should probably make that clear. Okay. Next question. I got in when Bitcoin was $5,000, best investment ever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin's a great investment. I agree with that for sure. Michael Varia says, didn't mean it like I don't care about people in India. I just think if someone get bothered by regulations, he should just move. You know, I agree with this, but there's a good conversation to try to convince your government to do something. Otherwise, especially if it happens to be beneficial for your country. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, I don't think about Indian laws too often, but again, I think that they should definitely be interested in adopting instead of banning. I think they'd be much better for their countries. I think the first countries that start to adopt instead of ban and realize that they're losing control and there's not much they can do about it are going to be some of the most wealthy countries on the planet. I think Dubai is actually already kind of helping lead the way for this because they have zero tax laws and zero capital gains laws. I'm moving to Dubai. In case any wondered, I'm coming to move to Dubai. I'm becoming a resident with the rest of y'all playing over there. I love my Costa Rican jungle where I can grow ayahuasca, but I'm fucking moving for zero capital gains taxes. Nashkita drops into $2 super chat. Thank you, Nachiketa. It's a hard name to say. He says, could you please clarify the term supply and how it looks on the volume bars? No, supply is volume. That's what people get wrong. This is supply coming into the market. Okay? Supply just means how much of each Ethereum is sold. That's what volume is how much. I call it supply because that's like the more critically correct name for it. Volume bars are like the beginner terminology, I would say, for the average student. These are volume bars. No, this is the supply coming into the market. And the less supply there is and the price rising shows that we are rising on limited supply. And the volatility is also decreasing too through each of these trading ranges, which is the price spread for the supply that comes in. This supply caused this price spread. This supply, this price spread, right? This supply, this price spread. And here, this one here. So you can see a diminishing price spread and supply coming in. This is a very bullish signal. Oh, and then Ashkat Giri says, Balajis. Nice, Balajis. Thank you for that, Ashkat Giri. I appreciate it. How much is the group? Well, it's going to be $90 a month soon. Yeah, again, we're looking at countries. Is Costa Rica 0% capital gains tax? No, it depends. It depends where the capital gains are made. That's a different question. But if it's in country, it's not. It's 25%. If it's out of country, it's 1%, I believe. Chet Wanderlust says, hey, Tio, I recently joined the private den. It's amazing. I'm getting better at entries. Can you please comment on how to set exit targets? Whew, that's a really difficult one because it depends on what type of cap margin you're playing. Think about it like this, right? We've gone over Dogecoin. We said if you put $1,000 in Dogecoin and you walked away, just fucking walked away, no exit targets whatsoever. Your exit was if Doge went to 0. You'd be up $500,000. But what if you put 100% exit target on Doge and you're like, yeah, I made 100% for Doge. You walked away. Before you know it, you lost out on $490,000 in potential revenue because you fucking exited. Okay. So generally speaking, in venture capital, I don't aim to exit. I care to walk away from a basket. So if I enter, let's say we'll use small round numbers. Say I put $1,000 into Doge, right? And Doge goes up 20,000. Well, I'll take my $1,000 out and I'll just let the rest fucking ride because it's all non-money. Like there's my $1,000 to go throw it in M Stable now or in Avalanche or in any number of other new potential plays that I want to get into. So I try not to exit my venture capital plays. If they go to 0, that's me exiting that position. Now, if it happens to become massively overweighted in my portfolio, I'll move it into Bitcoin. Different part of that sentiment though. Again, I just don't think you should neglect how much a small amount can do in venture capital. If you were to exit too early, you wouldn't get the fun. No, supply coming in and going out are basically the same thing. We've gone over that before. So, and if you guys are interested in the bear den you're asking about it, you can just go to arcanebear.com and find out. I mean, I'm not Google here for you. And that we're like, I'm telling you, I'm raising the price because we need less noise. Keep that in mind. I'm finding cherries. Thank you for the membership content. Very long wave. Nice. I'm glad you guys are enjoying your berry picking time and all your educational aspects. Oh, okay. Thrashing says, I think you should do successful bully honor and go through 1 inch yourself. Yeah, actually, so big hats off to, maybe I can even show this really quickly. No, it's not. I don't have it on here. It's on Twitter. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you can see my screen on Twitter. Yeah, okay. So successful bull made these sweet charts for us. This one was BTC, and then this one he did was 1 inch. So this was the 1 inch 4-hour chart. So let's take a look at how we did. This was on February 15th. So we're just, what, 3 days after that? Let's take a look at 1 inch. We'll move as our MTA play, looking sweet and tasty so far. And 1 inch we have down near the bottom, I believe. INJ, nope. Did I remove 1 inch off the list for some reason? I might have. Okay, let's re-add it back in there. Okay, so 1 inch to tether. That's what we'll look at here just for fun. Okay, things don't look great actually for 1 inch. And there's a reason why. Okay, so actually this is kind of beautiful. And this is probably not going to be a full-scale distribution, but really, really importantly, what we want to do is highlight what we were just going over with the supply characteristics. Yeah, this is a perfect learning lesson, I think, actually. Okay, down here, see this big supply come into the market, and look how little the price went up versus what happened when that same amount of supply came to the market over here. We went up quite a bit. This might actually be the start of distribution effectively, right? So I know we posted Bull's chart there on potential of reaccumulation. I'd want to be really careful here because you have a second up thrust and a large amount of supply that came into the market. So as long as we stay within this trading range, we're fine. But if we go below the trading range and then close beneath it, so say we do something like this, boom, 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 I would be out of a position. But again, it could just be forming a reaccumulation after decline too, where you come down and you start another trading range, like that's maybe too big of a drop, but you start another trading range like this down here. And we've seen these reaccumulation after declines a bunch of times where you had your top bar here and your bottom bar. So what we may be witnessing, because this looks like a potential small, let's say micro distribution, would be to have a reaccumulation after decline here. And also to remember that they just dropped like $84 million in tokens. So why wouldn't you see that selling pressure? And especially if they have money on the other side, they'll try to rebuy it back lower. So we actually may be witnessing a reaccumulation after decline here, not just a reaccumulation schematic. And we've kind of gone over these in the past. This here, where you see a big top out and you see this nice peak here to the top of the distribution range, which we might be seeing. This second line here, again, kind of notified, at least at this moment in my mind, by this supply marker here. So potentially seeing a reaccumulation after decline schematic 4 take place, especially with that airdrop. That would be my first guess. But right now, this second peak out would be just a little concerning because of the supply. If that big supply marker wasn't coming in there, I wouldn't have thought too much about it. But even still, I think it's a micro distribution. I think if this is a distribution pattern, like a rounded top, you would look at it as, and again, not a full-scale distribution, just a micro distribution for those of you who are studying. I suspect it micro distributes into a reaccumulation pattern. And we saw this with Ethereum back, actually, let's go to the other Ethereum chart here where it's already drawn up. USD or BUSD? BUSD. Okay, so we saw this in Ethereum back at the $380 mark. And this was a really noticeable one. Oh, no, it's not that. It's the Ethereum perpetuals, isn't it? Okay, yeah, here it is. So here's another version of reaccumulation after decline. And you can see my interest on the spike and the volume supply signature potentially coming in here. So let's imagine that this is where 1 inch is in an accumulation pattern here, and then it drops down and creates a reaccumulation after decline. So this was a very nice kind of picture perfect version of this back when, I mean, we drew this back when we were up at 2013. This is, or sorry, $380. This is where we took our first big longs on Ethereum. They went really well. The massive volatility, though, again, we can measure out that a few ways, but Again, this reaccumulation after decline box we've seen quite frequent, KNC band. So I think we might be witnessing the same thing about to take place here. And again, specifically for those of you that are deeper into your study, this supply signature here and the limited price spread to the upside versus this smaller supply signature here, creating even more upside itself as well. So we're always trying to measure effort versus result. So Dylan Simon says, I was clearing up some of my exchange today. Okay, let's go back to Ethereum here and we'll just kind of zoom out for a minute. I was clearing up my wallet today and I found a nice little surprise of Zilliqa. Another late Christmas present from the crypto market. Can we look up the charts real quick? So we went over charts for Zilliqa in our private group. Those were sent out, I think, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Check your inboxes. If you are just joining, you wouldn't have got those, but you can find them under trading resources for all of our private members on the website. We will take a look at Zilliqa here, ZEC. Oh man, there it is. Okay, so it looks like we're forming a new channel, basically. We could make some conjecture around that channel, what we think it looks like. Probably, I think our PDF went out looking at it something like this, which was a bull flag, if I remember correctly, and that this was our spring. So sometimes, guys, you get these weird signatures where what is normally a horizontal trading range isn't, and you have a bull. One of the few is a bull flag. Where you have a actual falling trading range, and here you can see the supply signature creating our spring here and here, these two. So it looks like it's just broken above the box. Again, these are not super strong signals in terms of relationship with other potentials that are there, and they're quite short term. We're only on the 1 hour right now to make that super visible. Here you could even make conjecture that we're not even witnessing, and this is why going out to the 4 hours is more important. If you look at it this way, we are just in a new trading range still effectively. So I would want to keep that in mind, that this might be the shakeout here instead of the spring, and these are your secondary tests based off this preliminary support or primary support region. So you'd go like this, PS. And then you've got your buying climax up here. So it looks like the formation of a new trading range, and we've seen this all across the board. GRT, new trading range. Aave, new trading range. Avalanche, new trading range. Cardano, new trading range. So it seems to fit the bill of everything else. Although, again, if you're comparing it to other things, it doesn't have the same strength. We can measure from January to where we are now, 140%. There are a lot more valuable investments in my opinion. Okay, where's my? We need a mod right here. Oh yeah, good. I'm glad. Thank you guys for removing Crypto Williams. You can just totally ban him if you want. Any of the mods out there, you guys can just totally ban that guy. I don't care. Crypto, yeah, just remove him completely. Have you looked into INJ? Yeah, we've gone over INJ once or twice on these episodes before. I think Pink Summer is a big fan of it. Again, guys, what I always try to instill is, well, first off, find your own confidence for why you want to be in something. I can't catch everything. It's just not worth it. So we'll take a look at INJ's market profile, though. Oh yeah, I remember we were looking at this nice Jesse Livermore pattern, another one of our favorites. Although we're kind of stuck in the widening megaphone right now. We did come back up off of its previous trading range. We're still below it though. If we start to close above that, I'll set a target on it just for fun. We'll set it for some alert markers so we can keep an eye on it for you guys. But just like that. Other than that, you could see a big retracement here. These patterns will often return to the bottom of the megaphone. But again, we could make some pretty easy conjecture that what you're witnessing is actually a new horizontal trading range through here before it goes out. So I'd keep a close eye on this horizontal trading range if I was in this position with my preliminary support here at around $10. Hopefully that was helpful. I don't care much about Litecoin, but would you chart the Litecoin to BTC pair? I don't think charting the BTC pair makes any difference anymore. I was all about it in 2017. It was the only thing I looked at. But what I will do is I'll give you my conjecture from the US dollar pair. Again, we saw a nice trading range. The problem is that I felt with Litecoin is it's just weak, comparatively speaking, versus other players. So from October to now, you're only up 374%. And if you were in since March, like compared to the other players, you're only up 500%. Well, fuck, you could have been in Cardano and been up 3,000%. You could have been in Avalanche and been up 3,000%. Shit, you could have been in GRT for less than 2 or 3 weeks. I think when we sent out our private newsletter here, we were at 82 cents. Yeah, we were at 82 cents. 232%. So you've done, in less than a month, GRT has done what Litecoin has done in basically the entirety of its span so far. So although I do see a nice curve here, this is all retail investment in my mind, and the strength is really lacking. But again, I can see this. I like these widening megaphone patterns. So you could see a nice breakout of Ethereum here, or sorry, of Litecoin. But so if you've been holding on to the position, there is hope. But I would be getting out of that position just because of how much strength we see in the DeFi sector. I started to move all my interest over to the DeFi space. Yeah, I don't think that I really stopped charting against Bitcoin to ETH pair. Just in general, the bigger players are not measuring their portfolio in Bitcoin yet. If they start to, we'll start measuring. But currently, these USD pairs are perfect, and I switched that very, very poignantly around July, August, and in the blink of an eye, I said, "Great, there's huge money here. They're not measuring their portfolios in Bitcoin." So I changed my assertion. I think anyone who's charting in versus Bitcoin has not noticed the market difference yet, which is there's huge amounts of capital here. It's not just retail investors, and huge amounts of capital from these non-retail investors are oftentimes self-managed family portfolios that have tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in them. I'm not really interested in NFT yet. I'm going to wait till the bear market comes in. It's just like art. You don't want to buy art at the top of a euphoric moment. You want to buy art in basically a bear market cycle. It just makes more sense. Those assets are only a peer-to-peer marketplace. There's no real conjecture for why one art piece would be worth more than another at this moment. And I do see that there is value in the NFT sector. I just have a hard time thinking that there's the value that people are attaching to it today because everything goes up in a bull market. Yeah, it's a very difficult one. Link is still looking great. We're on the final backup stages here. So again, we've been watching again since December 23rd. Now this is the interesting conjecture here, right? December 23rd, we've done this already. To today, it was 229%. So if you put $1,000 in Link instead of Bitcoin on December 23rd, you'd be up 100% more, right? So December 23rd today on Bitcoin is 129%, but December 23rd on Link to today is up 230%. So Link has outperformed Bitcoin from Christmas to today. And so did Ethereum, pretty much identically, right? From December 23rd to today at 230%. So both of these markets have yielded better alpha gains from day to day as well. And guys, when you see Ethereum go up like 0.5% and you say it's pumping, I can very clearly tell that you are brand new to the markets. We've already gone over Avalanche. It's in the exact same spot as we looked at it last time. Just forming new trading ranges. Everything is forming a new trading range right now. Being impatient like that. Oh my God, Tio, look at something for me. He's like, guys, have you missed what I've taught you? There's a trading range there. Go draw it. Figure it out yourself. Or join the private group. How about that? Join the private group, you little pansies. No, I'm just kidding. I love you all. Shh. Bull market's here. It's okay. Shh. It's going to be okay. The bull market's going to last longer. It's fine. Calm down. Oh, it's fine. Okay, next thing. Okay, I'm going to drop off for the rest of the day. Guys, I'm going to try to do a live stream tonight and maybe a live stream tomorrow. My internet was out today, so I couldn't do one. I'm going to try different times of the day. Maybe morning live streams are better. Maybe evening live streams are better. I've been doing them every day at 3 p.m. And I'm going to try maybe 9 in the morning, and I'll try maybe 7 at night and see where we get the most support from you guys. Oh, last thing, one of our favorite things to do is actually go over and, one of my favorite things to do, guys, for those of you that don't know, Kiva is a non-profit 501(c)(3) that helps underbanked, underserved entrepreneurs around the world. And every episode, or at least every few episodes, because I can't be that consistent. Nobody's that consistent. We like to make a loan to one of these entrepreneurs. Now, these entrepreneurs pay you back, and most often, most of the time, they pay you back. Obviously, some people default on their loans, but I just want to kind of go over this part, which is super fun. I want to go over the Arcane Bear team right now. So number one, guys, we are in the top 7 of all teams of new users. We are number 1 in the business category and number 6 for amount funded this month alone. And if you look at the impact we've been able to make as a team together, we've lent over $6,250 to entrepreneurs around the world for agriculture, food, retail, art, services, and clothing. If you want to join and help us help other entrepreneurs, you go to arcanebear.com/Kiva. But let's go out. Let's find someone to make a loan to today and help them pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. So there's Maha from Palestine. We've got a Status Woman Farmers Group. Well, they only need $50. Let's go. We'll just fill them. They only need $50 right now. Let's just close out their dang loan. Oh no, it was 100% funded. See, that's how quick these go, guys. Like, oh my God, I wanted to fund these. Look how colorful their clothes are. Okay, we're gonna find someone else to loan to. Those girls, all those colorful women didn't last very long. Let's see here. Belinda from Philippines. Oh, there we go. There's a group. $0 to go. That was quick. Okay, Belinda from Philippines. Let's just lend now. Adding to basket. There we go. Check out now. There we go. Straight to Belinda. We didn't even get to tell her story. Maybe I should go back. I like when we tell their stories, guys. So bear with me. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. It gives us the checkout now button too. Okay, so Belinda's 39 years old, has 6 children, married, and all of her children are still in school. She's an agricultural business of seaweed farming. Oh, that's super cool. Good job, Belinda, on the seaweed farming. That's a nice one. She's requested a loan of 30,000 BHP through the NWFT, additional for using seaweed and farming seaweed nets. She's been farming for 15 years now and has borrowed twice in the past to upgrade and sustain her business. In the future, she would like to save enough money so she can send her children to college. Well, we support your dreams there, and we're gonna proceed to check out. I know it's not a huge funded loan today, but we're gonna knock you out of the park there, Belinda. Good luck on all your future entrepreneurial ventures. Thank you. And then we make sure we go to the Twitter and we tweet. And all those fun things. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us on Arcane Bear today. I really appreciate all of your support. It's because of support from you guys, we get to do fun stuff like this at the end of our episodes. Oh, and shout out to Eric Hogan, who is also part of the fun, why we get to do this as well. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Remember to follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you guys again next time. Pew.